What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This here's Legitico Response. We cover political news. We keep you up to date with all the garbage coming out of the Biden administration. That is right, folks. And now there's been a situation pop up recently that we need to kind of talk about. Yeah, so the military, because it's a military tribunal going on here. For some reason, the people that were caught and arrested for the 9/11 attack are still sitting in Guantanamo Bay, for crying out loud. I had no idea that was going on until this news story came up recently talking about they received a plea deal. Like, what? What is going on? What happened to not negotiating with terrorists? Huh? Like a plea deal? Really? For a life sentence? I don't understand this. Like, okay, so this is just a crazy story. Let's go ahead and get into it because they rescinded that order, by the way. Check this out. Pentagon rescinds plea deal for accused plotters of 9/11 attacks. That's right. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin revoked a plea deal Friday that would have taken the death penalty off the table for 3 prisoners accused of helping to plot the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. Austin said in a news release that he believes that given the significance of the case, responsibility on what happens to the prisoners held at Guantanamo Bay should rest with me as the superior authority under the Military Commissions Act of 2009. Earlier this week, the Pentagon said an agreement had been reached with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Walid Muhammad. So I don't care about the prisoners' names. Sorry. Under the plea deal, the 3 prisoners would have received life sentences. Now, I don't agree with the death penalty outright. So, I'm not sure if I agree with whatever was coming up with this, right? So, but they're giving them life sentences. Why? Now, if we have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that these men were responsible for 9/11, that is one of those rare instances where, yeah, okay, they killed a lot of people, so maybe they do deserve the death penalty, right? I do agree that certain situations warrant the death penalty, but there are very, very few. Very few. This might be one of them, just because of the actual stakes of the situation, the actual amount of casualties, the amount of destruction that was brought with this act. Retired Brigadier General Susan Escalier signed a pretrial agreement Wednesday. In the Friday memo, the Pentagon secretary wrote, effective immediately, in the exercise of my authority, I hereby withdraw from the 3 pretrial agreements that you signed on July 31st, 2024, the New York Times first reported the memo. Escalier's approval of the plea deal drew blowback from some families of the victims, New York City firefighters, and high-profile Republicans. Some critics also said the agreement would prevent the public from ever knowing what really happened nearly 23 years ago. Republicans are directing their criticism at President Biden and Vice President Harris, even though the White House said it did not play a role in the negotiations. That is right. However, once again, these people tend to forget. They're trying to brush the responsibility from this off of Joe Biden. Well, guess what? Joe Biden is the commander-in-chief. He is in charge of Lloyd Austin. He oversees the federal government, for crying out loud. So, the buck stops with Joe Biden. So, yes, even though he had nothing to do with it, he had everything to do with Lloyd Austin being in the position that he is. And guess what? Lloyd Austin made the right decision. But he didn't make that right decision to begin with. Right? He had to see the blowback from it to make the right decision. And that's the problem with the Biden administration. They're incompetent. They don't care about law and order and all this other garbage. These people just do whatever the hell they want to do. Right? I don't understand what the point was to giving these people just life sentences. Do we really want to just take care of these people for the rest of their freaking lives? You know, I would honestly be content with just dropping these people off on a deserted island somewhere and just saying, fend for yourself. Go ahead. Like somewhere out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, to where there's no possibility that they could swim back to mainland anywhere. I would be totally happy with that. We do not need to be taking care of these people, living in luxury. Sure, they might not have freedom, but they get to stay in air-conditioned prison cell and eat 3 meals a day and have a nice, safe place to sleep. That's right. Yeah, that's insane to me. No, I'm sorry. That is not my cup of tea, if you will. That is not my cup of tea. As a matter of fact, Republicans are issuing an investigation into this, and maybe they should, as a matter of fact. But let's finish this. On Friday, Rep. Mike Rogers, chair of the House Armed Services Committee, sent a letter to Austin demanding answers about the plea deal. He said he was deeply shocked by the agreement and said it was a gut punch to the families of the victims. I happen to totally agree with that. It is a gut punch. It is a shock because these people released terror on the United States like nobody else has ever done in the history of this country. And to just let these guys off with just a life sentence, yeah, no, I'm sorry. That is a life of luxury for terrorists. That is what that plea deal would have done. I happen to agree with the death penalty in this instance. Like I said earlier, I rarely agree with that, but I do happen to agree in this case because that was just insane what they done. Just utter insanity. And there's conspiracy theories around, whether this was allowed to happen, kind of like the Trump assassination, right? But, I'm not going to buy into all those conspiracy theories. It's not out of the realm of plausibility that a group of men would just do this and slip through the security cracks, because back then we had less security, right? And there wasn't really many security cracks to slip through, if you know what I mean. Now, there's a lot of those people, we know that they were living in the country for a long time. And, sure, we never had any kind of terrorist act like this. Would they be able to do that today? As a matter of fact, no, they wouldn't. They would never be able to do what they did. We ensured that. But back then, yeah, sure. But, honestly, it came as a shock to me that these people were still on trial, right? How long has that been? It's been 23 years. They still haven't gone to trial yet? Like, honestly, like that in other words, what I'm trying to say is that hasn't played out. They haven't been sentenced yet. Like, what is really going on with this? Why is this taking so freaking long, right? This is supposed to be a military tribunal type of thing, right? So, why? What's the holdup here? That's what I really want to know, is what is the holdup with this? And I do want to know, what if this was never picked up by the corporate press and never expressed to the American people that they were trying to give a plea deal? Would they have would Lloyd Austin just allowed this to go through and let the United States military take care of these people for the rest of their freaking lives? Like, I just don't get it. What is taking so long with this? But I think that's all I got for this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments section, because to me, it's just insane that they're still going through proceedings. In other words, like, what the hell is going on with this? Let me know what you think. Give me your opinions down in the comments section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.